Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, high schoolers received some hands-on training with Freeman Health Systems. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has the story. Also, America will be celebrating our independence next week. Our very own Anthony Saviolo will have some tips on how to stay safe this 4th of July.
And we're looking pretty cloudy out there today with some rain chances currently, but heat and summer storms continue throughout the weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney, 7 o'clock on this fine Friday morning.
Yes, it's a finally Friday here, and it's our last full week of June. I can't believe that the month of June has just flown by. It really has. We're already past the halfway point of the year.
I was going to say the whole 6 months has flown by. I mean, I've been here now 6 months exactly, so I moved in January. It's been going very quickly for me, at least.
Yeah, it's been almost a year. Next week will be a full year that I've been at KOAM. I started right after the 4th of July, so it's pretty, it's pretty cool to be here for a year. You have 6 months, so lots of milestones. And some high schoolers are interested in the medical field at a Freeman hospital in Joplin are learning hands-on techniques.
KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Freeman's week-long summer program is exposing teenagers to a wide variety of roles in the medical field. Students learn about bacteria.
I think that's called beta hemolysis. What does that mean?
Hospital functions, and even how to stop a bleed.
It's still bleeding.
If it's pretty deep, then make sure to pack it, but really just make sure there's pressure on it and that the wound stops bleeding.
I really liked anesthesia because it's sort of like doing surgery, but not really. It's like the behind the scenes, so you gotta just observe and see everything that happens.
28 students are enrolled in Freeman's Health Academy. Organizers say the program has been growing ever since its return in 2023.
I like coming here to Joplin for the first time and just experiencing how things work in a hospital setting, because we don't have many of these programs up where I'm from. So
You see so many different areas that you only kind of hear about. You don't get to go and get up close and more hands-on, so that was really cool. And then we also are doing growing cultures for the lab, and so that is cool also.
Staff, basically.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, Freeman Health Academy will have 2 week-long sessions in July.
Well, that's pretty interesting stuff there.
It really is. I mean, I'm sure they're learning a lot, and it's great to see, our future doctors getting their first hands-on experience. So pretty cool, pretty cool.
It's a little, I'm a nervous person when I go to the doctor, so maybe I won't watch that story.
Yeah.
I get a little nervous. But no, we've all had to start off somewhere. I know I definitely did when I was in college. Speaking of the weather, we have some storms rolling through right now, currently through our western and central counties. Maybe just missing Joplin, heading north of Joplin, but still gives us a lot of cloud coverage for this fine Friday morning. Unfortunately, we're starting off pretty cloudy, pretty muggy. It'll continue to warm up as well throughout the rest of the day, but temperatures right now just now hitting 70s, Stockton 70, Monette 70, a little bit warmer around the western counties, 75 in Parsons and Neodesha, 78 in Sedan, 73 in Joplin, 71 in Pittsburgh, so not too bad. But like I said, we're going to continue to warm up today, so we're getting up to mid to upper 90s for our high, not to mention humidity values paired with those 90-degree temperatures. It's going to feel even warmer than that. So we've got a heat advisory issued for most of our counties out in Kansas and for a few counties in our Oklahoma, and that's for heated index, is up until about 109 degrees. Then in that hot pink, you can see we've got an excessive heat watch. So that's just one step above a heat advisory, and that is issued for Craig, Newata, and Washington counties. And that is due to heat index getting up to 114 degrees. So it's going to be really hot out there today, really muggy today and tomorrow. Not to mention, we also have some summer storms rolling in, and we'll talk about all of that in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Lamar City Park hosted a community picnic. The event takes place on the fourth Thursday of every month in March through October, except for August. It features food trucks, live music, games, and more.
It's to build a sense of community, to have a chance to see people you may not always see, enjoy some local food trucks, and just fellowship together.
The next picnic in the park will take place July 25th. The Grand River Dam Authority has a caution for people heading to a lake or river for the July 4th holiday. Boat safe, smart, and sober. The holiday is typically one of the busiest times on the water, and GRDA police say they'll be out in full force to perform patrols, assist boaters, and of course promote safe outings. Among their tips, wear a life jacket, don't boat or float alone, and don't drink and boat. They say most serious boating accidents involve alcohol. Well, with the 4th of July right around the corner, first responders are warning about the dangers surrounding fireworks. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has tips and tricks to keep you and your family safe.
America's birthday, a day to celebrate our independence and remember the origins of our country. It can also be a day of injuries if you're not careful.
The key to shooting fireworks off safely is being prepared. You want to have an open area away from buildings, away from your vehicles, away from tall grass to shoot your fireworks. But even before that, you want to make sure you have a bucket of water or a charged hose line, something that if a firework does go ahead and catch fire, you're able to put it out. Or once they are spent, you're able to soak them in that water before you dispose of them into your trash cans.
According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, 9,700 injuries were related to fireworks last year. 1,500 of those were from firecrackers and sparklers alone.
The minor burns is the biggest thing. I think people do try to be safe. Sometimes accidents do happen. That's why they're accidents.
It's important to keep your small children and pets away from dangerous fireworks. However, there are still ways for them to get in on the fun.
We have snappers, snakes, little stuff like that. The tanks are good. We also will give you punks that can kind of prevent them from getting burned or stuff like that. If they want to, maybe light a firework or something, that's really good to give the kids. That way they feel like they're doing something.
All fireworks have warning labels that tell you exactly what they do. Some fireworks stores like here at Jake's will even allow you to scan your firework, and it'll allow you to preview it so you can know whether or not it meets your needs before you set it off. Once you're done buying your fireworks, don't worry. If you still have questions, the employees will be able to answer them, and you get free punks along with every firework purchase. As to when you can set off your fireworks, each city has their own rules.
Just check with your local ordinances, and they can give you a clear, defined time of when you can and can't shoot off your fireworks.
Once you have what you need to light your fireworks safely, you can let the fun begin. Just make sure to douse and dispose of properly. Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
For more safety tips before you celebrate, be sure to look on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And those are our top stories this half hour. Coming up, a Kansas mother makes her return home after losing her limbs due to complications in childbirth. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Well, about 26 miles southwest of Grand Rapids, Michigan, sits the small town of Reamer. Less than 400 people live there, but there's one resident in particular who is quite the celebrity. That is, if you're a believer.
John takes us to a little town known as the home of Bigfoot.
In our area, if you walk anywhere off roads up here, the woods are deep and dark, and if you walk for 100 yards, you can't see back where your car is.
The town of Reamer is surrounded by hundreds of acres of woods and marshes, a perfect place for squirrels, bears, and maybe even Bigfoot.
This town was founded in the early 1900s, and there were sightings all the way back to then.
In 2009, a trail camera near Reamer captured what looked like a real-life Sasquatch. It was fake, but it gave lifelong resident Mark Ruyak an idea.
I trademarked the town as the home of Bigfoot, and we began to take away the stigma.
About half the town loved it. The other half thought it was a little hairy. But in 2016, Reamer's first ever Bigfoot Days drew thousands of people. After that, Bigfoot could be found everywhere.
And these are made by a local company?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, they're a local company. They make them, we sell them in the gas station.
That gas station is called Bigfoot Gas and Gifts, and other businesses have embraced the beast. Even the Woodsman Cafe sells Bigfoot burgers and Bigfoot hash browns.
Trust me, the Bigfoot hash browns, Bigfoot would be satisfied with them.
But he really has his footprint on Bigfoot Days. That's when they have the Bigfoot Olympics, Bigfoot Barbecue, and perhaps the most important event, storytelling time. Hundreds of people have an open mic to talk about their experiences with Sasquatch himself.
We've had like 70 and 80-year-old people who have never told their story in their whole life stand up and start crying as they tell this story that happened when they were 13 years old and scared them to death.
The sightings, the folklore, and even the mystique around town have even drawn Bigfoot research teams to Reamer.
I was just talking with a gentleman prior to you guys coming up who told me about his sighting last year.
24 years ago, Abe Del Rio founded the Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team. He enjoyed studying primates and was inspired by the famous 1967 Patterson footage captured in California.
We bring our equipment, night vision, thermal imaging, long-range hearing devices. We go out there and use different techniques to try to lure or gain communication with these creatures. Reamer has everything that a Bigfoot requires: food, shelter, and habitat. I mean, it's the perfect location.
Del Rio says there are about 5 or 6 alleged sightings a year near the town, which is why he keeps coming back, though he's yet to see one himself.
The dimensions of this Bigfoot here, would that be about accurate, you think?
Well, this is what we would say about an average size one, a juvenile.
That's a Bigfoot plaster cast that was taken near Reamer, Minnesota.
So that's an actual footprint somebody found?
Yes, sir.
Mark is more skeptical and not entirely a believer, but he loves what the legend is doing for his town. Guest books show people coming from across the world to investigate. Real or not, the Bigfoot Trail leads right to Reamer.
If you're at all around the world interested in Bigfoot, there's one place to come, and it's Reamer, Minnesota.
If you're interested in searching for the Sasquatch, Bigfoot Days are July 5th and 6th in Reamer, Minnesota.
For this year's celebration, the town will put up a 25-foot tall Bigfoot statue on the edge of town. Wow. 25-foot tall Bigfoot statue. That's
I love
awesome.
it.
I think you should go to Bigfoot Days.
You know, it's only an hour away from where I grew up, so maybe I will.
Take off July 5th, July 4th,
There
6th.
we go.
Head on out there. Maybe you can find, Bigfoot.
I would love to.
Well,
Stick around. We're back with more of the KOA Morning News right after this.
Well, it's starting off pretty cloudy day this morning out in 7th and Rangeline, although I think the showers are moving just north of Joplin, so we may stay dry out in Joplin and southern counties as well. However, we're not going to stay cool today. We've got an excessive heat warning, which is in the pink, and that is until 9 p.m. tonight due to heat index getting up to 114 degrees. And then we have a heat advisory that's just one step below a excessive heat watch, and that is for the pale color, and that's for those counties out in Kansas and Oklahoma until 8 p.m. tonight due to heat index getting up to 108, 109 degrees. So it's going to be pretty hot, pretty muggy today. Not to mention that continues tomorrow. Pretty likely that we'll see those heat advisories extend through Saturday. We've had some rain showers and some thunderstorms passing by this morning, nothing too severe, but good for us because we really need the rain, and we like the rain without the severe weather threat. So the rain that we got this morning already starting to dissipate as it moves northeast of us, but it was good while it lasted. Hopefully cooled us off a little bit, at least this morning, but unfortunately we do continue to warm up today. It's going to be partly cloudy skies after these showers pass, and temperatures getting up to 95 out in Joplin, 91 in Pittsburgh, but warmer out in our western counties, 98 in Independence, 96 in Nowata, 101 in Sedan. So it's going to be pretty hot, but tomorrow even worse. Now this is just a model run, so it may be a degree or two cooler than what it's showing right now, but it says 99 in Joplin anywhere from 97 to 99 in Joplin, 95 in Pittsburgh, 100 in Oswego, 101 out in Nowata, Independence, 102 in Sedan. Going to be pretty hot tomorrow as well, pretty muggy, especially with those humidity values above 40%. Tonight, we've got isolated thunderstorms this evening, one passing in those northern counties, and then those continue all the way through Saturday morning. We've got those scattered thunderstorm chances Saturday and Saturday evening as well. We'll go ahead and take a future look at that track. So we've got these showers that are pushing through currently off to the northeast, partly cloudy skies, and then this is that storm that if it does fire up, it'll come in around 8:39 p.m. tonight. You can kind of see it bowing out a little bit. So the main threat with this is going to be strong wind gusts. That'll continue, and then we see a gust front form ahead of it. You can see this line of clouds. You can even see the winds as well all the way through here. So those winds are going to be pretty strong and potentially damaging. So what we saw earlier this week may happen again tonight. That'll continue till this is 12 a.m. so midnight. We've got those scattered thunderstorms in those northeastern counties, and then they'll continue throughout the overnight hours. Mostly isolated, and we could see some strong to severe storms with this. Those will continue throughout the day on Saturday, mostly cloudy or partly cloudy skies, and then we have some more storms pushing into the southern counties. So it switches a little bit, flip-flops. Now we've got a elevated risk today in those north and northeastern counties, and then a low risk tomorrow. Sunday is looking pretty good. We do see some rain chances, but we're really not expecting a severe threat after we move past the storms on Saturday. Temperatures cool off on Sunday as well, down to mid to upper 80s. Then we'll start to really warm back up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, getting up to 100 degrees. And then we've got, unfortunately, some scattered thunderstorm chances on the 4th of July. Now, as we get a little bit closer, we may see that change, but as of right now, you might want to adjust some plans for the 4th of July. Now, we'll be back with more news after this.
Well, a Kansas mother is learning how to care for her newborn after a premature delivery caused complications that cost her her arms and legs. Nearly 5 months later, Bree Morgan-Bauer is finally home.
And her neighbors are ready to lend a helping hand. Melissa Jackson reports.
It isn't the joy on their faces, the signs, or the orange on every corner that tell the full story here. It's Bree.
What are you most looking forward to about going home?
Taking care of my boys.
Are you scared?
Yes. Yes and no.
Months ago, she became a mom again, and toxic shock syndrome changed everything.
Hey, Boo. Boo. Open those eyes, please. Just, oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, hi. Hi, buddy.
Waiting for her back home was a praying neighborhood.
The fact that we get to keep Bree and we get to keep baby Bo is unbelievable, and it's a testament to her hanging in there and every day.
Filled with everyone.
We just can't wait to have her back.
Using the way Bree has narrated her story to the world.
And even my small children come up to me and they're like, Bree did it, we can do it.
In ways Bree may have never imagined.
This journey started with tears and it's gonna end with tears, but the tears that we started with are a lot different than the tears we're gonna end with.
They are her neighbors and cheerleaders.
She is an inspiration that I never even knew could exist.
And as soon as she got back, they made sure a part of her story she'll have to remember is what else is right here at home.
Forever letting her know that we're right next door, we're right nearby.
You know, such resilience from that young mother, and it's great to see the community, banding together and helping support her. It's great to see. It really is.
It is fantastic. I mean, to see that many people just jumping in, willing to help, ready to help. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, the first presidential debate is in the books. We'll have the highlights from Biden and Trump's performances.
And we've got summer heat and summer storms continuing tonight and through the weekend. Now we'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Snowy. Young area musicians took part in a workshop, and Pitt State hosted the first day of its spring camp, which focuses on stringed instruments. Yesterday, they focused on technique and rehearsing, and it'll culminate later today in a concert for family and friends.
It's the opportunity for you to get to meet other people who are passionate about the same type of things, and so then they hopefully build these friendships that can foster their growth as a musician and as a human being.
And that concert will be at 6 p.m. tonight at the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts. The public rolled into the Skateland Fun Center of Neosho last night for a good time and a good cause. The event raised money for the Children's Miracle Network, which helps local children and families with medical needs such as prescriptions, medical equipment, and specialty care. A $10 entry fee got people in the door, and all the proceeds went to CMN.
The money goes to whether they need gas to go to Kansas City, do they need lodging to stay there for long periods of time. It goes to any kind of surgeries or special therapies, anything like that. Children's Miracle Network covers 100%.
Children's Miracle Network means the world to us because Vincent was born with multiple health issues, and because of Children's Miracle Network, we have a seizure monitor, and that's something I could never have afforded without their help.
Every dollar raised locally stays local, and donations help children and their families in 14 counties in Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Oklahoma's school superintendent wants to incorporate the Bible and the Ten Commandments in state classrooms. The announcement came at a state Board of Education meeting in response to a key ruling from the state Supreme Court. Ryan Walters is calling for every Oklahoma classroom, 5th grade through 12th, to have a Bible, and says teachers must instruct from it for those grades 5 through 12.
The Bible is a necessary historical document to teach our kids about the history of this country, to have a complete understanding of Western civilization, to have an understanding of the basis of our legal system, and is frankly, when we're talking about the Bible, one of the most foundational documents used for the Constitution and the birth of our country.
Oklahoma's highest court this week blocked an attempt to create the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school. The Oklahoma Education Association yesterday issued a response saying, in part, quote, teaching about the historical context of religion and the Bible is permissible. However, teaching religious doctrine is not permissible. Public schools cannot indoctrinate students with a particular religious belief or religious curriculum. The state superintendent cannot usurp local control and compel education professionals to violate the Constitution, end quote. Now let's check in with Lindsay for a look at the forecast.
Well, we've got those partly cloudy skies or mostly cloudy skies throughout the morning hours. As we go into later in the day, they start to clear out, so we get some sun going and temperatures do start to increase. But currently, temperatures across the region, 72 in Stockton, 70 in Monette, so a little bit cooler out in the eastern counties. Warmer in the west, 75 in Parsons, Nowata, 74 in Independence, 77 in Sedan. So not too bad out there right now. However, we did have some rain passing through our northern and central counties that will contribute to the humidity in the area. So we've got heat advisory issued for those western counties, and as well a couple counties in Oklahoma. That's due to heat index getting up to 108, 109. Then we also have an excessive heat watch, which is just one step above a heat advisory, and that's due to heat index getting up to 114 degrees today. So it's going to be pretty hot, pretty muggy today. Now, we can expect a heat advisory likely to continue through Saturday as well, because the same temperatures and humidity are going to continue through tomorrow. Now, we've had those rain showers. Luckily, no threat, no main severe threat, but those are going to continue over the next 30 minutes, hour or so. But then we clear out. We do have heat and storms returning throughout the rest of the weekend. We'll have more after that.
All right, well, last night's presidential debate was a historic showdown. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump took the stage in Atlanta with no studio audience, just two of them butting heads and tackling the top issues this election cycle. Julia Benbrook has more.
It's the biggest moment of the presidential race so far. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump both hoping to make the other look unfit for office.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
What are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
The debate, tense at times.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
Underscoring what's at stake this November. The two went back and forth on a variety of issues, including immigration.
When he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go.
We had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place.
Abortion rights.
I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade. It's been a great thing.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done.
The economy, which polls show is the #1 issue on the minds of voters.
He rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion.
He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country.
The two have agreed to a second debate, scheduled for September 10th. Reporting in Atlanta, I'm Julia Benbrook.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A mystery in Colorado has people from all over stopping by to catch a glimpse of this mysterious object. In Consumer Watch this morning, the Biden administration is pushing to make housing more affordable. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced a plan earlier this week to help lower costs, but housing affordability is an ongoing crisis that is impacted by a variety of economic issues right now. Jen Sullivan looks at the various reasons for rising home costs.
For the 11th month in a row, housing prices jumped year over year across the country, according to the National Association of Realtors. The median existing home sales price last month jumped 5.8% to $419,300, the highest price ever recorded.
There's not enough inventory, so the buyers are left with so few choices.
The housing affordability crisis is an issue impacting the entire U.S.
We face a very significant housing supply shortfall that has been building for a long time, and this supply crunch has led to an affordability crisis.
Speaking in Minneapolis this week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen unveiled the Biden administration's plan to create a $100 million fund to help finance affordable housing projects over the next 3 years. But it's not just the lack of inventory that's driving up prices. While inflation overall has cooled, shelter costs, which measure things like rent and mortgage costs, continue to rise, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. As of June 20th, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 6.87%, according to Freddie Mac. In a recent analysis of data from Zillow and StreetEasy found rent prices last year grew faster than wages in about half of major metro areas.
That is particularly upsetting because you can't really cut back on that.
Many economic experts say these high housing costs aren't likely to come down anytime soon. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Amazon is planning a low-cost service that will let you shop right from third parties in China. It will compete with Temu and Shein, two emerging e-commerce sites with ties to China that have grown in popularity in the U.S. The new channel will sell unbranded fashion wear and household products. Amazon didn't give a time frame for the launch, but it will start accepting products in the fall. Well, it's no secret electric vehicles don't do well in the extreme heat or cold, but now a new technology breakthrough could make their batteries virtually heat and blizzard proof. Fox's Eben Brown has more.
Electric vehicles continue to be a hot product across the U.S., with car dealers unloading more than 1.4 million EVs in 2023 alone. But there is an emerging problem: extreme temperatures. The rechargeable lithium-ion batteries powering most EVs perform poorly in both cold and heat, sending researchers scrambling for solutions. And now Japan-based Asahi Kasei has one, a new electrolyte that allows for increased power output even during an ice storm or a heat wave.
In order to squeeze as much of the performance
and the reliability out of batteries, looking at the electrolyte is one of the main aspects that we can make an immediate impact.
It is a big breakthrough. In the past, lower temperatures have meant lower output and longer charging times, while high heat has resulted in accelerated aging of batteries. The new electrolyte can help increase not only the stability and lifespan of EV batteries, but also how far they can go.
They could actually reduce the number of cells in the battery pack and still have the same amount of range or potentially increase it.
And the company says it hopes to place these new batteries in the cars by 2025, protecting EV owners' investments as summers get hotter and winters bring more blizzards.
That's something that a lot of people that are interested in EVs are concerned about, is what happens after a couple of years when my battery pack starts to break down.
A new study published last week by Energy Star reveals extreme heat can cut down the range of an EV by 30%. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Partly cloudy skies throughout the rest of the day, but right now we're dealing with overcast conditions. We did have some showers passing through, mostly just our western counties moving northeast. Unfortunately, just clipped Joplin, so we're not really seeing any rain out in Joplin, and it also moved north of Pittsburgh as well. But we are experiencing an excessive heat warning. That is in the hot pink, and that's until 9 p.m. tonight. That's going to be dealing with heat index up to 114 degrees. Then in that pale orange color, we have a heat advisory issued until 8 p.m. tonight, and that's due to heat index getting up to 109. So heat index or heat advisory is the lowest, and then you go up to an excessive heat warning. Now, we're going to continue throughout the rest of the weekend. Temperatures and humidity values stay above 90%, 90 degrees and above 40%. So it's going to be pretty hot, pretty muggy today and tomorrow as well. So we'll likely see the heat advisory continue through Saturday. Now, we've had some showers passing through this morning, starting to dissipate as it moves northeast, just moving just north of Pittsburgh, heading towards Nevada, some heavier rainfall, and that's good. We like the rain. We want to see the rain. Unfortunately, we don't want to see the severe weather that comes with the usual rain that we get. We didn't have that this morning, but we will see some strong to severe storms moving through this evening and throughout the rest of the weekend. In addition to that, we've got these hot temperatures today getting up to 95 in Joplin, 91 in Pittsburgh and Oswego, 98 in Independence, 101 in Sedan. So pretty hot today, but even hotter tomorrow. Now this is just a model, so temperatures may be a little bit warmer on this than they are going to be in real life. So likely will be a degree or two cooler than this. It says 100 out in Joplin. Likely we'll get up to about 98 in Joplin, 97 in Pittsburgh, but still upper 90s across the region and even possibly hitting 100 degrees, especially in those far western counties. And then we pair that with humidity values above 40%. It's going to be pretty hot, pretty muggy today and tomorrow. Tonight, we've got isolated storms starting around 8:39 p.m. and continuing throughout the rest of the evening and into Saturday. So we're going to have scattered thunderstorm chances all the way through Saturday evening as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that future track. The first storm that's coming in, it's got this bowing out segment, so we are seeing a wind gust threat with this storm. It'll continue in, and then if you can see the little line of clouds and the winds, not to mention the little green right here, that's not rain, that's actually a gust front pushing ahead of these storms. So pretty gusty winds up to 45 to 60 miles per hour. And then we've got those scattered thunderstorms scattered across northeastern counties. That'll continue as they shift east. So we'll get those scattered thunderstorms from the north to the far northeastern counties overnight tonight and into Saturday morning. So this is 7:30, still some scattered thunderstorms sticking around. Partly cloudy skies, and then we move into the evening, 7 p.m., a few isolated showers, and then we've got another storm, again, a nice bowing segment, so likely some more wind gust threat with that as well. That'll be passing through Joplin. So we've got a low elevated threat for today, those northeastern counties, and then a low threat for tomorrow, and not a huge threat for Sunday, but those storms do continue on Sunday. So the cold front we're getting tonight retreats, returns back on Saturday night, giving us more storms, and then finally we start to cool off on Sunday, just for Sunday. Unfortunately, we do warm up by Tuesday, Wednesday, getting up to 100 degrees, and then still even 94 degrees on Thursday, but we also have some scattered thunderstorm chances most of the day on Thursday, and that is unfortunately 4th of July. As we get a little bit closer, we may see that change. It may hold off a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on it, fingers crossed, and we'll be back with more news after this.
Well, it was a mystery in Nevada, and now it's a mystery in northern Colorado. Where did it come from, and why is it in that spot north of the Horsetooth Reservoir?
No one seems to know, but that isn't stopping people from making a trip to go see it.
Whether it's the spectacle, something different, right? Or the mystical.
We are into the mysterious, and so we decided to come and get the kids and come up and take a look at it today.
The Northern Colorado monolith has a certain pull.
This just happened to be in the headlines, so we thought,
People are drawn to it.
I know they've been popping up around like Utah and Nevada, and
They want to know who built it. Whoever did it did a darn good job. They want to know why.
It's just very intriguing to us.
Could it be aliens?
there's concrete poured and then like the bolts to the ground. It seems pretty human-like. So I've outruled the possibility of extraterrestrial installment.
Okay, maybe not.
It could kind of just be like a fun project that someone's doing to catch the attention of the public.
Otherworldly or not, the monolith is enchanting.
yeah, we don't get a good angle, that's for sure.
Travelers pulled over on the side of the road to take pictures.
See what other cool shots I can get on this thing.
Drones flew overhead to get a closer look.
Very shiny. It reflects light very well.
Some people even hopped the fence to check it out with their own eyes.
A little bit smaller than I was expecting.
We may never find out this thing's purpose.
There's no information about what it was.
But maybe that's okay.
We're intrigued beyond words.
Maybe the mystery is the meaning.
Certainly peculiar. I wonder if they'll ever figure out exactly.
Somebody out there is trying to make another Stonehenge. Looks like
maybe
we'll just start seeing more appear in circles around it. I don't know.
That'll be interesting.
It would be cool to see. Yeah, definitely would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Well, we've got storms rolling in tonight, possibly strong to severe storms. We've also got a heat advisory and an excessive heat watch issued for most of our western and southern counties tonight as well. Those will continue likely through Saturday. We've got a cold front moving through tonight, bringing us those storms. It'll retreat, and then we'll see it return again Saturday night. So we've got a couple rounds of strong to severe storms this week, and not to mention the summer heat. Now we'll be back with more news after this.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Freeman's week-long summer program in Joplin exposes teenagers to a variety of roles in the medical field. Students learn about bacteria, hospital functions, and even how to stop a bleed. 28 students are enrolled in Freeman's Health Academy, and organizers say the program has been growing since its return last year. The Grand River Dam Authority has a caution for people heading to a lake or river for the July 4th holiday. Boat safe, smart, and sober. The 4th of July is typically one of the busiest times on the water. Among their tips, wear a life jacket, don't boat or float alone, and don't drink in boats. Well, the 4th of July is less than a week away, and local fire departments and fireworks stores are giving you tips on how you can stay safe this Independence Day. About 9,700 people were treated for firework-related injuries last year. Pittsburgh first responders say it's important to take caution even before you start lighting off fireworks. If you do have an emergency during the 4th for any reason, you are encouraged to call 911.
And we're dealing with heat and scattered thunderstorm chances continuing for the rest of the weekend. Today we're getting up to upper 90s and a heat index from 109 to 114. So it's going to be pretty hot today, pretty hot and muggy. Then we've also got some storms starting off this evening around 8:39 p.m. tonight and continuing pretty much through the rest of the weekend.
Sounds like a muggy mess.
That is, I'm going to use that. I like that. It's
Go ahead, because that's I think what it's going to be.
Well, a realtor in Arizona is being called a hero after he saves a dog from a house fire. Remax realtor Nick Reeves was showing a home in the city of Mesa when he saw large flames at a nearby house. Reeves and others took a look inside to see if anyone was trapped, and they quickly realized there were no people inside, but there was a dog in the home.
Reeves went around the property and was able to pull the dog out before it was too late. He says nobody was hurt in the fire, but there's still no word on how it started.
Well, it's great that he saved that dog. And
I mean, I think we're both dog people here. I would definitely, if that was my dog and I wasn't home, I'm thankful for, would be thankful for anyone who stopped.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a good day.